The Democrats truly have an America Last agenda, because even though we're running massive deficits in our budget, there is not $1 that will allow us to cut in wasteful foreign spending on these weird pet projects. But of course, that's what we're going to see called out today by Senator Kennedy in hilarious fashion on the Senate floor. But before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Would gut already designated funding for public broadcasting and / critical international aid funding, programs that have long had bipartisan support. The rescission would also weaken our other global health efforts, whether it's Ebola or malaria or bird flu. We know so many of these start in different places, and we can't just bury our heads in the sand. We actually need to take them on where they are, or the need to help other countries so you increase your own national security. We know that very much in Minnesota with our Somalian population and what they have faced in Somalia. When America shares its bounty with the world, and we do it in a smart and targeted way, we benefit. Mr. President, hacking away at public broadcasting, public radio, it's not just short-sighted, it's dangerous, and the same for the foreign aid. These investments are a small cost compared to what we get out of them.
You need to look at what the president's asking us to cut out. I'll just give you a couple of examples. I didn't make this up. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Iraq to produce Sesame Street. Maybe we could use that money for something else. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Zambia for circumcisions and vasectomies. The president's saying we don't need to do that. We've got other priorities. We're giving $500,000 to Rwanda to buy electric buses. The president's saying to us, Congress, we don't need to be spending the money on that. There are more important things. We're spending $67,000 to give insect powder to kids in Madagascar. I don't even know what insect powder is, but the president's asking us to cut it out. We're giving $3,600,000 to Haiti for pastry cooking classes, for cyber cafes, for dance focus groups, for male prostitutes. The president's saying, I don't think so. I don't think that the American people support giving their hard-earned money to male prostitutes in Haiti. So he's asking us to cut it out. He's asking us to reduce the budget by $833,000 because some of President Biden's bureaucrats gave a contract to transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal. The president's saying, I don't want to do that. And he's right. That's enough. You get the idea. That's why I call it spending porn. Triggers your gag reflex. You look at this stuff and you go, what in God's name? Who decided to do this? Well, Congress didn't. The bureaucrats did. It's money we appropriated, but we didn't tell them to go spend money, $833,000, and give to sex workers in Nepal. They just took the money we appropriated and used it for that. And so the president is asking us to do what's called a rescission, to cancel the spending. Now, I have listened, I've been here 8 years, Mr. President, and I've listened to a whole bunch of people talk about the need to reduce spending. But you got to watch what people do, not what they say. Because talk is cheap. And around here, I've learned pretty quickly that reducing spending, it's like going to heaven. I want to go to heaven. I bet you want to go to heaven, Mr. President. I bet our guests in the gallery want to go to heaven. But everybody wants to go to heaven. Raise your hand if you're ready to take the trip today. Most people, you are, sir, and I admire that. But most people want to live a little longer. And that's the way it is with reducing spending around here. I want to reduce spending. I support it, but not just yet. Because I've got this project. Well, and I've listened to that. And I've especially listened to it for the past 100 days. Go get them, President Trump. Reduce that spending. We're behind you 1,000%. Well, he has. He has. 0.1% he's asking us to reduce. And I'm not saying senators shouldn't ask questions and make some changes if they need to be made, but here's the bottom line. It is gut check time. It is gut check time. You either believe in reducing spending or you don't. And if you talk the game and say, let's reduce spending, and you vote against this bill, in my opinion, you ought to hide your head in a bag.
Senator Kennedy really has a way with words, all right? And it's highly entertaining. But of course, what I really want to focus on here is the contrast between Democrats and Republicans when it comes to talking about spending cuts, okay? Because the Democrats, like Amy Klobuchar, are out there saying the only thing we're really spending money on is critical international aid and, of course, helping kids how to read and write, studying viruses around the world, right? That's all we're really spending our money on. But then, of course, reality has to kick in, and Senator Kennedy has to come out there with these giant boards that say, hey, here's all the stuff we're really spending money on. And that other stuff, fine, we're going to keep it. But we can cut back on these other things that have no meaning to American citizens and probably even less meaning to the people in these countries, right? Because when you look at transgender workers in Nepal, male prostitutes learning how to dance, what purpose does that really serve? What strange pet project of some congressman was this? Whose pockets are being lined for the organizations that are trying to fund this wacky stuff? And that's also why it's so important to read the bills, all right? And I know both sides are guilty of this. We get some huge package, we pass it in the dead of night, there's no chance to review it, but all bills should be posted online for at least 2 weeks so people can comb through them to find all of the garbage and then weed it out. And yes, I know that that's how you actually buy votes in the House and in the Senate, is by having these weird pet projects attached. But of course, when the people are actually exposed for those weird pet projects, I bet we're going to see a whole lot less of them. And what Kennedy is talking about here is, of course, the rescission packages, because they pass these huge omnibus bills. There's all this stuff in it that nobody knows what it is or where it came from. And we have to say, okay, we can claw that spending back because the money is still there. But of course, the Democrats are going to vote no every single time because they don't care how wacky the project is. They don't care how much money is being wasted. They don't care how big our deficit is, right? All that matters to them is that this money gets out there. And as I've said in the past, most likely it's just lining the pockets of friends and family members for all of these weird organizations that are actually pushing all of this garbage. But I love the way Senator Kennedy actually ties it in to say, hey, this is actually gut check time, because out on the campaign trail in all of your floor statements, everyone's out there saying, hey, we want to control spending. We want to cut out the waste, the fraud, the abuse. But now that you have an opportunity, many people are dragging their feet or saying, hey, I have this own pet project I need for my state or my city or my NGO, as it were, okay? And that's exactly why nothing ever gets done, because when it comes time to actually pull the trigger, guess what? Everyone's a little gun shy. So all of these members of Congress really have to just grow a pair and do it, because at the very least, these things that Senator Kennedy is highlighting should be gone. Right? No issues whatsoever, get rid of them. But of course, the Democrats are going to say, what about the PBS? What about the NPRs? They provide an important service. No, these are organizations that are clearly left-leaning and are trying to indoctrinate the public, and they do not deserve $1 of our hard-earned tax money, because don't forget, every single thing that's being funded here comes from us, from you and me. And it's been wasted and used against us for far too long. And I'm glad that people like Senator Kennedy are out here willing to call it out. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.